Hey y'all, it's Heather with Gracious Offerings. I'm back with another video, and today I am going to be sharing with you a DIY project using a Darice sign. It is like a three-tiered sign. It has three separate parts to it. We are going to be using some Chalk Couture transfers on it and turn it into a really cute farmhouse home decor sign. If you are interested in DIY signs or Chalk Couture signs or any farmhouse items, be sure to stay tuned to see how I create this. So guys, I have this three-tiered type of, it's like a ladder sign. I'm not sure exactly what you would call it. It is from Darice. I am going to paint it with some chalk paint from Waverly. I'm going to use some Chalk Couture transfers on it and make it into a really cute farmhouse sign with three different sayings about being at home and loving to be at home and everything like that. And also making a cute little farmhouse bow to add to it for accent as well. If you like videos like these, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and then hit that notification bell when it appears. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And also, if you are liking videos like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up. It really will help the channel grow and know what more content I would need to bring for you to see. So with all of that being said, let's get into this DIY.
Alright guys, we're getting into this project. I'm showing you my Waverly Chalk Paint. I do use three different colors. Somehow I had already painted the middle section of this sign with the white Waverly Chalk Paint. And I am just pouring a little bit of this mineral chalk paint into my little tray. Of course, I don't use it right away. I clean up the excess off the edges of my jar when I am starting to paint the bottom section of this three-tiered sign. So I'm just going through, I'm going to give it a good layer of the mineral chalk paint on the third part. And when I get to the top part, I'm going to be mixing some white in with the mineral to kind of lighten it up so that it is three different colors. All three sections are three different colors. So I'm just putting this on evenly. And try to speed it up a little bit. It is a little blotchy when I'm watching it, so hopefully it won't be like that when it is uploaded. But I do lift the sign up to get the sides as well. Make sure I get all the sides, even inside the little crack area. Because that is seen when it's hanging, so make sure to get that. I got this little sign off of Factory Direct website. It is Darice, and so I do pick up a few little things here and there sometimes from that website. So that is where I got this little sign. And I think I've got a good coat on the bottom now. I'm going to add my white, like I said, to the bottom. I meant to the tray. And then I will mix it up really well. And then I will start to apply that to the top part of my sign. Now the top part of the sign does have some holes. It does have some jute cord on there. And it was a little difficult to get off, so I didn't take it off. And so I am just going to be painting around it very carefully to try not to get any paint on the jute cord. And I would just leave that on there, and that's how we would that is how we would hang the sign, is with that little jute cord. So I'm up in the air again, trying to get inside that little crack, and I get out of focus a little bit, I know. And some of my video portions are flipped sideways as well, not filling the whole screen in. So I do know that I need to pay attention to how I'm recording my videos. But right here I am showing that I am going to go carefully around the little rope there. Um, Try not to get any on there. And get that done. Then we're going to need to let it dry. And once the sign is dry, we're going to start to apply our Chalk Couture transfers. Alright, so there it is, all three different colors. The light gray on top, white in the middle, and the darker gray on bottom. Now I have these Chalk Couture transfers. This one is called Love Lives Here. Comes with this cute little house, and you could tell I did fuzz it a lot, and I went ahead and stuck it in the middle, and I'm going to use my Greige Chalkology paste to put this onto this piece of wood. Now this Chalkology paste they changed the name back to Storm, I guess. So Storm and Greige is about the same type of color. And so I go to remove this. It is a little difficult to remove. I did not think about putting my wax down first, which I probably should have on that section. I go ahead and figure out the placement I want for my wording. There's three different sections. Of course, this transfer comes with several different little phrases that you could use. And so on the first top part, I am going to go ahead and wax it first because I didn't want it to stick like the little house part did on the white. So I am using my clear wax that I've also gotten from Chalk Couture. I'm waxing the top and the bottom part. And some of it's a little chunky, so I'm trying to make sure I get all the chunks of it off and get it blended in well. And then I'm going to take the transfer for the top, going to fuzz it, make sure that I get some sticky off of it, and place it on the top. This top piece says bless this home. I am going to use some Chalkology paste in the color of Velvet Black, I believe is what it's called. It's just the black color. I'm going to use that on the phrase for the top and for the bottom. And well, I use it for all phrases actually. So I just apply that to my transfer, and then I make sure I get all the excess off, and then I immediately remove my transfer. And there's my wording, bless this home. So now I'm putting down my bottom transfer, and I fuzzed it as well. It says home is my happy place. So I am going to cover that with my chalk paste as well. Make sure that I get all those little grooves filled in and use my little squeegee to make sure. Then I'm going to go ahead and get all the excess off of that as well. And then I will remove the transfer. Now I slowed it down here just so you could see all those crisp, clean lines that that appears whenever we remove the transfer. Alright, so I'm going ahead and fuzzing my third piece, which is going to go over the house because I wanted the house to be like a backdrop, kind of like a watermark kind of look to it. The middle one says love lives here, and it has to, so I have the home behind it, so it's supposed to stand that love lives here in the home. So I'm also using my black and filling in all of my places. And for some reason I did not think of going ahead and putting some wax over the house so that this transfer wouldn't stick. The transfers came up really well on the two gray parts, but it still did stick to the white part. I don't know if it was just because used I didn't use the wax on the white part, or if it had something to do with it just being that color of paint. I'm not sure. Um, but anyways, that it did leave some marks, and I did have to go back and fix that. So I did go ahead and use some of my chalk paint to distress the edges of each sign in the alternate colors just to give it some dimension. And then I used my sanding block and just kind of sanded it down to make sure there was no rough edges. And now I'm going in with some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to use my Mod Podge to seal my signs because the chalk paste, along with the Chalkology paste that I use from Chalk Couture, all of it is water soluble. So if it gets wet and it's not sealed, it's going to come off. So I wanted to use something to seal it in with. And I did notice something strange was going on with my lighting as well. And so I get done with that. You want that to dry fully. Once that's dry, I go in and I'm going to make my cute little bow. Now, that some people call these a messy bow or a refab bow. So I am showing you my ribbon. I do have some black and white gingham check ribbon. I have some cream colored ribbon with some gray stitching. And then I have these few pieces of ribbon that I found in my stash that was already cut. And then I show you my gray ribbons as well. I do decide that I don't want to use the burlap with the lace, so I move that off out of the way here in a minute. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to dovetail the ends of both of these white chevron burlap ribbon pieces. So I have some dovetails on either end. And then I'm going to start cutting my ribbons and I'm going to measure them out. I want 2 of each, so I go ahead and just measure out 12 inches and I cut off of the roll at that marking, and then I have it folded in half, and then I just cut it in half, and that gives me my 2 6-inch ribbons. So I do that for all of my ribbons. I have that sheer kind of see-through grayish colored ribbon. I have my black and white gingham check ribbon. And then I also dovetail the ends of each one of those. And I did speed this up a little, but it is a little slow still. Alright, so then I am dovetailing the gray ones. These are my thicker ribbons, and then I'm going to move on to my thinner ones. So I can have a little bit of dimension on the length and the sizes of the different ribbons in this messy bow as well. So then I take I take my thin little ribbon and I do the same thing, and then I have my little pipe cleaner piece I'm going to use to gather up all of my ribbons together. I needed to clean off my table, so I used my little ladybug vacuum to clean up my messes. And now I am figuring out how I want to lay out my ribbons for my bow. So I changed my mind on this here. Decided I wanted 2 different bunches with them laying on top of each other. So I just make an X out of each bunch. And then I'm going to take my little pipe cleaner and I'm going to gather the bow up and wrap the pipe cleaner around it and secure that. It's a little out of frame, but you can see what I'm doing here. I am gathering it up, and then I'm going to twist the pipe cleaner several times around the back and make sure that it is good and tight. And then I'm going to work on fluffing the bow, make sure my ribbons are facing the directions that I want them to face, because they do seem to move a little bit when you do get them tight. So here I am fluffing it, making sure that they're all showing the right direction that I want them to show. And just continue to work each ribbon until I get it in the place where I want it. And then I'm going to attach it to the sign. And the easiest way was to just wrap some of that pipe cleaner around that twine jute cord that's already attached to the top of the sign. And so I just wrap it around that as well after I get done fluffing it some more. And I get it started, but then I decide that I need to flip the board around to get a better grip onto the pipe cleaner. So that's what I'm doing here. So I get it and I tighten it as well as I can, and then I'll flip it back over to look at it. Look and realize that it's still kind of loose on there. So I am going to take some hot glue, and I'm just going to secure the bow down so that it's not wobbly like that. And I'm just going to use my hot glue to secure it down a little bit, just so that it doesn't move. And I am putting it right there in that little hole where the jute cord is coming out of too, so the jute cord won't be moving or wobbly either. So then I hold it down in place for just a little bit, so make sure that it sets up good. And then I come back, make sure that it's good and set up, and straighten out my bow a little bit more just to make sure it's looking the way I want it to. And that is pretty much it, you guys, with this little sign. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you did, and check out some of my other videos. I hope to see you back soon. Bye.